To the Sunday night webinar. Thanks for joining us. And we come in 100x Crypto Academy every Sunday. We have a bit of a chat. Like sometimes we don't talk necessarily all about crypto, but obviously that's the main topic. And we just come on and have a sort of chat, what's happened during the week, because obviously everyone's got their own sort of lives that they're dealing with, outside of crypto, and then that kind of dictates. In some way, kind of like what they do in crypto, because if you're like busy with stuff that you got to do, obviously people have got jobs and stuff, and crypto is like a it's not like a thing that necessarily need to do, I mean, it's not a necessity like having to go to work or go to a job, or because you got to get money, right? Crypto's like, yeah, it's there. Everyone would like to do it. Obviously, if you had enough crypto now, you wouldn't have to go to a job, but that's not the case for most people. So people are got to do what they got to do, and sometimes, most of the case, takes a lot of time out of crypto. So it's a juggle, and that's what it is. And just try to keep amongst it. And I think you really got to have a passion with crypto to see those big days, those big spikes when you're buying Bitcoin at $1,000, or you're buying Bitcoin at 3,000 or 4,000, and then it hits 19.5 and or 69,000. So and that takes a lot of time, and it's not, and then you see these people that just make millions off these projects, shitcoins, and projects that don't really do that well in the long run. But and then you think to yourself, fuck, maybe I should have just stuck in there, or I shouldn't have zoned out. It happens all the time. So it's a tough one, guys. I'm not going to say you got to be 100% into it all the time, because even I don't do that. But I try to keep abreast of most things. But it's tough. So you just got to manage your sort of work life, daily life, and your family life, and then try to keep abreast of what's happening in crypto, because I think that we are, we're just good times ahead. And, once we see those 100K days, you got a bit of Bitcoin tucked away now, you take the profit if you want, or just sit on it, whatever's comfortable for you. Because a lot of people say to me, well, what if it hits 100K? Would you take the profit? And it's very tempting to, because we all know what's going to happen the next bull run. It's going to be a massive bull run, and then it's going to come back down. It always does. That's what happens. It just goes up in cycles, right? And that's what's going to happen. So, you might want to consider that the next time hit 69K, and it keeps on going up to maybe 80, 90, even over 100. You might consider taking profit, because at some point it's going to come back down. It always does. So you just got to, but as long as you stay in the game, and then, then you're right. But what about your week yourself, Garth? What's been happening in your neck of the woods?
What's been happening? Just trying to think of any exciting. Evening, Oliver. How you doing? This week, I don't know. I've been really watching the news, so I can't even comment on any news, anything that would stand out. There's probably a lot going on, but I've been zoned out with that. I don't know.
I got a question for you.
There's much. Yeah.
What's I know this is probably off topic, but I just want to see, what's a whole roast chicken cost in Australia these days? Like, the ones you go to Coles or something.
Oh, the one at Woolies.
Yeah, full roast.
Yeah.
Whole chicken.
I think I know off the top of my head, but I'll just check what it is on Woolies right now, because I'm sure they've got the hot chooks there.
They used to be one of my favorites when I used to go to the shopping centre. I always like to get a
did you know they do other things now? They do I feel like they do roast lamb.
Okay.
They do roast lamb and something else. Just trying to find if they actually.
Yeah, they do that sort of stuff here too. Sometimes they do it in 7-Eleven. They got like half chickens, roast chickens. They got like turkeys, fucking chicken legs and shit.
Yeah. Well, they do
they
that.
Got supermarkets that do that.
got like a thing, trying to find
I mean,
where it
just so you
actually.
guys don't know, it's the shopping centres in Thailand are just like the shopping centres in Australia. They're
Yeah.
pretty much set out exactly the same, right? And they got a certain way of how they all kind of set everything up, bread, food, fucking all that shit. They have all the hot foods and stuff, chicken. It's everything's there that you need. It's just a matter of kind of like what you can afford to buy.
Well, I think it's $12, but I'm just trying to find where it actually says that. I think it's $12.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think it
That's
is from memory. Yeah,
you can get a
I
roast
think it is.
chicken here for a whole roast chicken for about 150 baht, which is about $4 something. So that's
Wow.
not too bad. I mean, about a third of the price. So that's kind of like a third of the price of is what you guys pay in Australia. It's kind of like what you pay here, but there's a lot of things here that are
More
expensive because they got to import it. So anything that's imported into Thailand, like beef, Australian beef, cheese, all the gourmet shit, all the stuff that Italian sausages and stuff, it's all expensive. But all the staples, dirt cheap.
Wow.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's like, all the prices are going up all the time. I think I told you that electricity was going up 30%. Sort of, what else? It was something else went up as well that everyone was bitching about. It's just endless. But eventually, we'll just wake up one day and the more and more people will, just not be able to afford day-to-day living. I think that's what will happen, and they're predicting the interest rates are going to go up again, which is interesting. I know. I think we'll say 30th of July. So next Tuesday, I think that's when the next rate rise is possible. And what's interesting is the economy sort of out there it's been pretty quiet for the last 4 weeks in terms of business. When you talk to business people and you see people spending money in that, and the biggest, I don't know if it's true or not, but the biggest thing I'm hearing is everyone's coming off fixed home loans. So some people locked in interest rates for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and this right now is when the most amount of loans are coming off fixed and going back to variable. And so people, I think there's been 12 rate rises or something like that since they were on fixed. So actually, here's some pretty horrific news. I don't think I told you the other day, but this relates to exactly what happened about 2 weeks ago in Marumba Downs, which is only 2 or 3 suburbs from here. Or it was reported a house exploded.
yeah,
A house was like a townhouse. It completely blew up, leveled it, nearly blew the other house next to it apart.
okay.
Anyway, they basically it took like 2 days before they discovered someone died, and then the next thing was they shut down all the Facebook comments about what actually happened. And it came out like about a week later. It was discovered the guy had committed suicide. He had put 6 9-kilo gas bottles in his house, right? Turned them on, and then ignited it. I'm not sure how he ignited it while they were on or whatever, and you didn't pass out with the gas, whatever. But basically blew the house. It leveled it. It was heard from, I don't know, 10 Ks away, and it was phenomenal. And people were getting treated for injuries in the street. They shut down the whole area. And this was about 2 weeks ago now. But on social media, what happened, right, was he posted about the cost of living, and he apparently couldn't afford to pay his mortgage on the house. And so he decided to kill himself and blow up the house at the same time. That was the story that we heard. But all of it got they took it all off social media because they don't want people, they don't want that sort of publicity on TV about people can't cope with the things. I mean, okay, he could have lost his. Maybe there was greater issues. I don't know. I mean, I've seen so many homeless people, more people than I've ever seen before in our suburbs. So there's definitely a housing crisis and stuff like that. And there's just not enough houses, and the price keeps going up. So eventually, what will happen? Wages will keep staying the same. The prices of everyday things will go up. The crime rate is going up all the time. Like, it's just phenomenal now with the crime. That's what's happening. And you just get that split between the people that are in the crime and in the poverty, and on government benefits or whatever, and then you've got the super rich, which are not even a small business. The super rich seem to be like the businesses that are bigger than just small business. Like, they're at like next level. They're at the 10 million to 100 million revenue mark kind of thing. Those are the people that have got the money, but not the small business at $1 million. They got nothing. And the employees don't really have much either. Or you got the big companies that multinationals with plenty of money that are in the, certain industries like mining. And what happens in Australia is big companies from overseas basically come in and buy out businesses over time and dominate whole industries. And it's like, in the automotive where you've got like 3 or 4 manufacturers own everything, and you think, well, I was at the tool shop the other day, and the guy was telling me that, like, I was talking Makita, DeWalt, Milwaukee, and he goes to me, oh yeah, he rattled off 4 brands, and he said they're all owned by the same company. And I said, really? He goes, yep. And then he rattled off the name of that. And I thought, wow. So when people think they're actually getting choice, the money's still going to the same parent company. And we've seen that in lots of other industries. Same with the 4-wheel drive industry out here. I've seen so many companies owned by the same companies. And it's all because they got the money to buy those assets and grow them. Whereas if you don't have access to the finance and resources, you can't do it. So yeah, I see a lot of big business just ruling and taking control, and it has an effect on lots of things. So yeah, it just makes it quite difficult. That's where I sort of see Australia not so lucky anymore.
It's close to a tipping point. I don't know how many people earning average wage are surviving. Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
It's kind of like, how do you do
idea.
that?
I don't know.
The
average wage. I mean, they claim the average wage in Australia. They have it's always a play on words. They say the median, right? The median, which is on a curve, right? The median is around about $1,200 a week, gross. I think it is, and was it take home? Can't remember, but it's around about 1,200. And I don't really know many people taking home 1,200 a week. I mean, there is people doing it, but that was the median. And this includes, everyone from high people that are paid to the low, but they don't actually take in the situation the average. If you actually looked at it, 80-something% of the population is probably earning less than $800 a week, and most homes like to rent in our area are $650 to $700, and in other places they're over $1,000 for a 3-bedroom house. And the only way you can do it is by having 2 incomes. One pays for the house and the other pays for living expenses. But in another 2 to 5 years, if it keeps on, these interest rates keep going like the way they are, I'm not sure how that's going to work, because people won't be able to afford the normal homes. And at some point, people are just, something's got to give. I'm not sure what happens, but something's got to give. So yeah,
well, you've got to be making $32 an hour to be making $1,200. That's not even before tax. So after tax,
I don't think I've ever made that kind of money in my life on an hourly rate.
Our last job, when I was working with you at the
auto place,
auto place, we weren't even making that. I think we were making I think it went to like $19.
I think it was $20.50 an hour, or it was
$20.
$19.50 an hour.
Yeah, it was like the high 20. It was like almost $20 when I left. So
Yeah.
um,
Okay, it was
you know,
$20.50 or something
I,
per
I
hour.
highly doubt that they're paying 25 or not even 30 an hour now. Highly doubt it. I mean, I can ask people
Yeah.
that's still there. And I still have probably.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably, I don't know, but I mean, there's other industries where, like the other day, I found out some kid was getting paid $35 in some industry. I know a few people I know are getting $35 an hour. Traffic control, probably truck drivers are in the $30 range. You know, like most decent people are in the $30, and then there's some people are in the 40. But of course, then you got like certain industries that, like mining and other industries where the big money is, and they, but even then, you know, they might be on $100,000-$200,000 a year, but they get taxed. They really get taxed, and at the end of it, you know, they got a nicer house, but remember they're paying the government. I think it's like 38 cents in the dollar. It's quite huge how much the tax rate is for individuals when you're earning a lot of money. So yeah, it's interesting. So I'm not sure where it's going to go, but more and more people seem to be that I hear are either downgrading or leaving the country, and you know, like going to Thailand or Philippines. That seems popular choices. I don't know how many people are actually doing that, but you know, I know of actually a couple of people that are doing it personally. So
Yeah, a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people have, because they realize. See, what they're doing is because I read all the expat forums and stuff. So people come.
Yep.
What happens is they watch a lot of YouTube stuff about retirement, and then they basically follow a few YouTubers, and then they come to whatever said country they want. Then they check it out because that's what they all say. That's, in fact, that's what even though I say, but I mean, I didn't do it. I just went cold turkey. Come and check it out. Do you like it? Yes. What don't you like? What do you like? And then they go back to their country, get their affairs sorted, sell all their shit, and then they figure out if they've already got retirement money, if they're already like, because and I've still got the super there I can dip into when I'm 60, but I don't know what the older you, I think.
Well, it's a little bit more than that now.
Yeah, well, it used to be, every 60 ages every time, but I can get my super when I'm 60. So you probably yourself. So
I'm not sure how you can get it at 60, but good luck with that.
Yeah, no, because my date of birth.
Unless you've got something.
No,
you sure?
I can get it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I looked at it the other day, and they said I'm eligible at 60. So I don't know what happened there.
But, I thought the current is 67. I don't want to burst your bubble.
No, mine. That's what it says. It says
I won't disagree with you, but yeah, the last time I checked, it's 67.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I'll have to have a look.
Don't cry if you find out it's true.
Oh, they don't lift the if you're born from a certain point after a certain date. Yes, it goes to 67. But if you're born before a certain age, then you know. But anyway, that's what the super says in my thing. So hopefully I'll get I can get it at 60. I wish I could get it now.
I've got to wait. So I just Googled it here. So what is it? It says after July 1964, it says 60, right? That's what it says there. But okay, maybe that. I don't know. I read it somewhere the other day, but the age pension, which is from the government, not the super, it was 67, I think. God, I so thought that was 67.
Yeah, it says when you can access your super, retire, reach preservation age between 55 to 60, depending on when you were born. And it says So
Yeah, it says you can access after 65 regardless of whether you're retired or not. And then from 55 to 60, depending on your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was born
Thing is, I keep changing the rules.
February 74. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm just under that July 74. That's why I'm able to get it at 60. I don't know, but that's what I logged into the system the other day and they told me 60.
Okay.
So that's like
Well, that's good. You haven't got too long to go.
Oh, I'd rather get it now. I put a straight more of it on Bitcoin on top of what I already got. I mean, you think about it. If I was able to access my super, I don't know how much exactly it is, but yeah, it's a lump sum. So you slap it all on Bitcoin. 10 years, dude. 10 years because I'll be 50 next year. 10 years of that on multiplied by what I have, what I'm going to get. Boom.
Yeah,
that's like way. But anyway, yeah. So going back to what I said before, it's kind of like, I know this doesn't correspond to crypto, but it kind of does indirectly. A lot of people, they come to Thailand or whatever said country, they check it out. Oh, okay, I like this, I like that, and they go back to their country, sell all their stuff, get their affairs sorted, and then they, because obviously they know how much money they're going to get from either how much their money they have now, to if they're already retired in age, or they already got their superannuation, or they've got, I don't know, 50 grand and they got to wait another 5 years until they get the super, and then they get the super, they're going to have $500,000 or whatever, right? So then they can figure it out, because then they can rent, like a reverse engineer, kind of like where you want to be, because to live in Thailand comfortably, you probably need about $2,000 if you want to live, comfortably, really comfortably, taking, forward your rent and all that sort of stuff. And I probably wouldn't buy. If I was you, I'd probably just be renting because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
But then again, you just don't know these things. I mean, we built a house here, but I'm here long term. But so yeah, you kind of figure it out, and then you just kind of work out. But it's a really good option because you're right. What you exactly said before, people are not going to have enough money when they retire, especially in Australia. They're probably going to. How much would you need in Australia when to retire as a age pensioner? You probably need.
Oh my God!
I reckon at least. I don't know, but I don't know, more than $5,000
a month. Yeah, well, the problem is that
if you own your own house, let's say you own your
okay, but let's pretend you own house, right? And it's just the other things, okay?
Yeah.
So at the moment, like pensioners, I think get paid maybe, I feel like they're getting possibly $600. Hold on 1 sec. What is that? 600 a fortnight. So pensioners are getting $600 a fortnight. So that's $300 a week.
$300,
which I don't even know how you would live on that being a pensioner, but there's probably pensioners that do. But let's say you were better than that. Let's say it was 600. So 6 times 4, 2,400, 2,400 a month would probably get you, I don't know, just the basics. But the problem is, as you get older,
cost more.
Especially the medical side of it. There's always operations, just normal growing old. And also, we haven't talked about the moment you talk about a retirement village or some type of healthcare, something like that. There's all your money gone. I don't know. That's when you got to
put your house
millions.
Up, pretty much. There's no way
I've heard
the facility without a house.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people that have went into retirement villages, and they in Australia they work with leases, basically get like a 99-year lease, and the idea is when you're dead, they own it again. They get it for free. It's like a scam, and but they cost $500,000 or whatever it is, $1 million. And then on top of that, you still pay money for, say, in-house care, which is a lot of money. So, yeah, it's just extreme. So I don't even know how it's going to pan out, really.
Well, they got this is an industry that's growing really big in Thailand at the moment, and it's aged care. So you come in, you you get your own pad, and you have like a nursing. Someone's there 24/7 to cook your food, look after you, and everything. And then you've got like a doctor on site, and
Yep.
that's all there. And it cost like minuscule compared to what not minuscule, but much less than you try if you were to do it in Australia. And the thing with Thailand's one good thing about Thailand is the healthcare here is well, it's not as good as America or Australia, but it's like right there. It's right there, and that's the one of the things with the medical. It's not like Philippines. Philippines it's like 20 years behind. They still have it, but it's like certain things in Philippines are really shitty. But in Thailand, it's pretty much world class. So a lot of people are looking at that option because they're not going to have enough money to retire. They're either going to be on the pension, which they're not going to be able to afford, but they can move to somewhere like Thailand or another lower cost of living, and have that money that they're getting from pension and still live a pretty comfortable life, and still have the aged care. So I know we're kind of like talking 10, 15, maybe 20 years ahead of some people that watch this, but it's something to think about because you're not going to be able to, you got to think about like, you're going to have enough money to retire. Should be, probably asking those questions a long time ago, but it's really starting to play on people's minds simply because of the where the economy is at the moment, and everything just keeps on going. I reckon honestly, if I was still in Australia, I probably wouldn't be able to survive because I'm single, and I'm glad I moved here because it's kind of like the way it turned out. But even if I didn't find a missus, built a house, and got all the shit we did, even if I was still the same, right, and I just had myself and whatever I had and my Bitcoin, I would still be way better off because I would still have a shitload of money and I'll be able to do stuff. But I'm still able to do it now, even with this house and everything, all the stuff we got. So I don't think I'll be able to do what I did here back home. There's no way because I just wouldn't be able to, as a single guy, buy a house on my own. There's no way I'll be able to do it. What are houses now? Minimum 400?
No. 600K.
There's no way I'm single. Remember the job we worked? We were making, what were you making? 800 or 900 a week?
800 gross a week.
Yeah. There's no way.
Actually, 750 gross a week. I think
maybe
it was,
I could have bought a small
680 take home a week.
But there's no way I could have owned a house unless I got married, met with a spouse, and that's kind of like how you get ahead, right? Marry a spouse, she's got a job, you got a job, you pump money into the house, or you do what the Vietnamese do, right? Like Howie Farmer, this guy on YouTube, he's funny as. Go on TikTok and type in Howie Farmer. He's a TikToker. He's an Aussie. Yep. He's a Vietnamese Aussie. He's got the Aussie accent, but he's got the Vietnamese accent. He's a funny bastard. So he plays these things on TikTok about Vietnam, takes a piss out of himself. Really funny guy. Yep. Anyway, so that's what the Vietnamese did when I was growing up back in, when I was still a little kid. There used to be a house up the road on the hill, and there was always like 10 cars out the front. And then I was like talking to my mate. I said, how come there's always cars out the front of that fucking house? And they said, there's Vietnamese. Why? Because there's 10 families living in there. And that's how they did. Yep. They got that big ass house. Back then it was like 200,000, which was 30 years, 40 years ago. That's how they could afford it. 10 incomes, they all work like shitty jobs, like, all the shitty jobs, but they brought the 10 income, pumped into the house, paid that one off, used that one as leverage, got the next one until all the families had their own house. Then once they had the house, they could get more houses because they had good loan history and everything. That's what they did.
Yeah,
Vietnamese.
That's it. Yeah, he's basically got to. Oh, yeah, that's it. About right. 100K, 49 cents in the dollar. I was a bit off. I said 38 cents, but there you go. So literally, you're working like it doesn't matter like what good money on. Can you imagine that next hour that you work, your half is going to the government? Makes you
Yeah.
sick.
See, and I'll tell you
That's
how to
why it
get ahead.
can't be. Yeah.
I'll tell you how to get ahead from this, but it's very difficult to Australia to do it, and I kind of figured it out. You can obviously reduce the tax income via deductions. Well,
Yep.
you know what? Um, I know Thailand's not a it's not a different. It's a different society, and it's got the money is different. So in Australia, you earn because a lot of people here like, oh, I want to go to Australia and earn big money. Yeah, but what you don't know is you earn big money, but you're spending big money as well just to live. That's what they don't understand. So the current rate is $1 Australia is 23 baht. Right, that's the conversion. So if
Yep.
you were to make 1 million baht here, you'd be pretty well off. You'd only be making 23,000 baht, $22,000 Australian.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're probably thinking that's not much, but here it's a lot of money, right? Because when it's all relative to where you live and to what it costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I found in Thailand here is you can start up businesses really cheap, and a lot more people here, and there's less laws and restrictions and stuff. And for example, if you wanted to just like screw your job and just go, no, I'm not going to work a job. I want to start my business. This is what most people do. They um, they get a stand, or they make get like a their own stand, or they make their own more portable stand, or they attach it to their scooter, and they either start selling something like um, coffee. This is the most popular one, iced coffee. That's the most popular business. So now they've got a business, and then they got to buy all their ingredients and all that. And if they get a good location, they can and they can make good money. They can make more money than they would in their day job. So there's a lot of people that do that. It's literally everywhere. And then there's all these other different businesses. They sell food. They make sweets. They make curries. They make a lot of food vendors. So that's how they start off as an entrepreneur. Then they work their way up, get more money, eventually get their own coffee shop or whatever. But that's what they do, and you don't see that in Australia. Like last time you were cruising around and you see a dude selling food on the side on the road, like you just don't see that in Australia because there's too many
No.
laws.
Yeah, they got because you sell food, you got to have a license to sell
Get a
food.
license.
So
Yeah,
even if you have a chuck wagon, you got to have a food license, and
and then
I'm not
there's
sure how much
certain
that costs.
what do you call it?
Yeah.
You've got to then pass the what do you call it? Health, don't you? To sell food?
Yeah, I haven't I haven't done too much because I don't really know too much about it. But yes, there's licenses involved and there's costs associated with it.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing you see is you do see coffee setups on the side of the road, sort of, and the coffee vans. And
Coffee's a good
give you an
idea.
idea, like they just sell coffee and food and that. And then you got the ones that go around to the businesses, and they fight over territory and all that sort of stuff, and very organized. Some are, like quite big. They got lots and lots of trucks. And then there's other people. I saw a bloke the other day talking to him. Had some coffee. It was next door, and he said his prices, right? He only does events because it's big money for events. So the way the events work is instead of selling $5 for a coffee, right, and hope you sell lots of coffees, they don't do it anymore like that. They literally, oh, you want us to come to an event? Yeah, no worries. It's minimum $300 an hour, right, for 2 hours. So to go there and set up for 2 hours is going to be $600, and on that it's got a 40 limit per hour drinks. So 40 coffees in an hour is maximum. If you go over that, you got to pay. So that's how much he was making for 2 hours, and he made probably 30
Okay. I know what
30
you mean.
cappuccinos. Got paid $600 for 2 hours work.
Yeah, I get it. So he's like an equipment manager kind of thing, like a DJ as well. Like you providing
Nah,
a service.
no, not like that. How about just turn up to a business premise and provide coffee for 2 hours?
Yeah. But yeah, same.
Yeah.
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 yeah, that's the way to go.
But
I mean, if you can get the gigs
yeah,
in.
I mean, because you imagine turning up to some location where you don't know if you're going to get work or people to buy coffee. Well, he's like, I don't care whether I sell any coffees. I'm going there to provide this service, and it's $300 an hour, and that's it. That's how he's structured his business, and he's been doing it for 12 years apparently. So yeah, it's interesting, and that other people, get into coffee and then go out of business because they can't get enough business. So yeah, it depends on the way you sort of do it.
Yeah, well,
So
to start a coffee business here, it's pretty easy, and
it's expensive though to buy the vehicle and then get the coffee set up on the machine.
Yeah, well, here you can just do it on scooter. Just put it on a scooter.
It probably
get all
costs
the
you
stuff.
30 to 50,000 out here.
Not even that, mate. Not even that. You can set up. You can set all that up. You can buy a franchise for about $1,500. Something that my missus was looking at. There's so many ways to do it because the restrictions are less, and you can just literally just pull up on the side of the road and start, and you got a business. So it's kind of like that's where it's different to Australia. Obviously, it's relative because you can earn much less. The average person in Thailand makes the average person is between 300 to 500 baht a day, so that's times 5. So you're looking at between 12,000 to 15,000 baht a month. That's their wage. So you multiply that by 23, and that and that's what you get. You divide it by 23, and that's what you get for Australia. So 20,000 would be 1,000 or 500 a month. Yeah, they're making 15,000, so they're making 400 something bucks a month. But it's all relative because the rent costs you nothing. The food is cheap. Everything is cheap. So, yeah. But anyway, that's kind of the cost of living side. So kind of have a think about that when you look at obviously when you're coming up to retirement, because you're gonna need more things. So the other thing is too, you can some sort of business on the side. You have your crypto that you're doing. That's what most people do. Have a full-time job and then try to get something going on the side. Because in my opinion, it's actually difficult to make. I don't know about you, what you think, Garth, but I might ask you after this. But in my opinion, I think it's difficult to make money in crypto in the sense that if you're going to get, unless you trade or you're doing some sort of high risk staking, to actually make money in crypto itself, like on a daily basis, where you're getting money every day, just like a job, I think it is difficult, and it's risky.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree because, see, traditionally, like if you put your money into shares, you can get dividend paying shares. Like once, I remember ages ago, I used to work for a software company and I used to do portfolio management software. And sometimes I'd go out and see clients. And I remember seeing this client, went to his house to help him one day. And he had a portfolio of about $1 million worth of shares. And I was quite young, probably under 22, I think. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And then he was telling me about how much he makes twice a year. They pay dividends, and he mostly has stocks like BHP and that pay dividends. And he was earning, I don't know, between $50,000 and $100,000 a year off his dividends, off his $1 million or whatever it was. And that was how he just made money. So it was like passively. He didn't have to do anything. He just bought the shares, monitored them here and there, maybe rebalanced his portfolio, was making money. And obviously, there's times when the stock market goes down, but you're investing in stocks, profits. Generally, if they pay dividends, you can do well on it. The problem is with crypto is it's not quite like that. You don't get paid from the profitability of company, because that's kind of like what they're trying to avoid. So that's where the differentiation is. But the problem is that once you give up control of your Bitcoin or any other asset, and you hand it over to a third party and say, okay, make me some money, right? the worst case is it's like Celsius. We know how that goes,
Oh yeah.
and then if it's a trading platform, it could be like FTX. It's just so many scams out there that's saying they're going to pay, and it's very attractive, and people do it, and they lose their money. Now there is legitimate, okay, trading. The problem is with trading is it's a very active thing, and regardless of what people say about it being done by robots or whatever, it's generally the people that trade. It's done by people, systems. You got to have plenty of money to do it, and you got to have some sort of advantage. So it's not like it's like the people who are making the money are the people that have got the exchanges that actually are running a business, and where you put the money and they make a small percentage on the transaction, right? Same with the DEXs, they're making money. And the actual blockchains themselves, which are charging gas fees like Ethereum, and Binance, all them are also making coin, because every time you use the platform, they're making money. So, and then of course you've got all your dodgy stuff. So the problem is that there's no, at the moment, legitimate way to create yield out of these projects that I've seen. Now, maybe some people would argue with me, but I haven't seen any relatively safe way to get yield without really losing control of your token and risking, because really you got to get yield, you got to have more risk. You don't make 20% per year unless you're risking something. That's how it works. And that's the problem with crypto. And maybe in the future it'll change, where there'll be more hybrid type things where you can actually somehow participate in the profit sharing of companies and it not be shares. But I don't know, it's a very legal thing. I wish you could, legally make money from profitability from business that was run, that you invested money with crypto into. I'd love that. But legally they cracked down on it.
Yeah, well, that's what they did recently. The SEC was stamping down a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, so the main difference really is with the crypto and the stocks and stuff is the stocks are actually regulated companies on the stock exchange, right? And they're actually legit business as well. You would think they are, not all of them, but some of them are bad apples, but they are legit when they obviously start off, because they've got to be regulated, and to get on the stock exchange, they've got to go through a whole bunch of processes just to get there. So then it's safer for the community. So that's the difference. In crypto, there is no regulations. It's a wild, wild west. So that's why it's difficult unless you've got some sort of service or something that you provide to other people. That's how you can make money on crypto, by providing again, you're selling picks and shovels. You're not selling. You're not a gold miner. And a lot of people in crypto are the gold miners, because they're there. They see that this meme coin can go to the moon, so they're a gold miner. They're prospecting. They're getting into these speculative coins, whereas where the people make the real money, where we saw it with the California gold rush and all the previous gold rushes before and after, is the people that make the real money are the people that sells the picks and shovels. So just understand that. And there is a couple of ways that you can do it with stocks, and I'm not big into stocks, but Stake does it. They've got a American side of it. Then they've got an Australian side of it too, so ASX as well. So again, these guys are somewhat reputable. They've been around for a long time, but again, you really kind of want to probably deal with a broker direct, but they're like a trading company. Okay, but now they are in Australia. So you can basically, if you're into stocks, that you're into buying all this sort of stuff, you can do it on an app, and it's for Australians. That's one way to buy stocks. And basically, if you obviously, you're not going to make the big money unless you have, hundreds and thousands of dollars in certain stocks. Okay, like probably your precious metals, your electric. You just got to follow the trends and be into it, right? So that's one way with stocks. But the riskier stuff is obviously with crypto. It's way riskier. But if you want to make money in crypto as safe as possible, that's why we always say dollar cost average, and have control over your assets, and that's the only way you can do that is by having it in a cold storage device like a Trezor, and you dollar cost average, and you're buying the crypto like your layer ones, Bitcoin, or your layer twos, ones with high market cap, with over $1 billion market cap, but still relatively small layer ones, layer twos that are still emerging. We talked about ARB, ARB a couple of weeks ago, and all the smaller cap, even Litecoin starting to pump. So that's what you do, and you have it on a hardware device, so you limit the risk, and that's basically, you just that's if you want to do it the safest way, and you have control over the crypto because you have the private keys. So that's what I recommend. What's the next gem? I remember you calling meme coin about it. Next, went to the moon. Well, to be honest, Cinepack FX, Cinepack FX. Look, I've been looking into the meme coins, as you know. I was doing a lot of reviews on it, and what I found with meme coins is they're still popping. There's still people launching meme coins, but that it's not the money going into meme coins is not like it was when Pepe was around. Meme coins it's more difficult to raise money. You just only got to go and look at the meme coin space, and then you'll know that the ones that raise a lot of money, it's fair few, but the rest of them they're not raising any money until the whole meme coin hype comes again. So it says, what was it? Went to the moon. Sniper. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe we're talking about that bot thing last week. I don't know.
Sniper.
Not sure what he means.
Sniper FX. Okay. Yeah. Maybe last week we did talk. There was a few meme ones that did pretty crazy, but it's like anything. Like at the moment, there's been a few. Like I saw some real dodgy ones do well, but then today I saw them down 20%. Right, that's the problem with the meme coins. They literally just pumps, and you got to get lucky to get into the time that they're going to go off, and then get in there and stay as long as possible. And that's the problem. Like there's no value after they dump. I mean, yeah, there's just nothing going on with them. So that's the problem. It's the risk. The risk is just so high with them. So yeah, that's the problem with them.
Yeah, well, I did have a friend of a guy that I talked to on Facebook. He did talk about Oshi. So I don't know a lot about it, but he said that the reason why it pumped. Let me look. Probably on the wrong page. He said to check it out, and they did. This one did really well because they launched their Bitcoin ordinal. It's called Oshi, right? But now they've got this new product that's coming out, and that's why it's kind of pumped because of this new product. So it could be a genuine project that is really trying to get going. It's up 14. It was up to 1,700. So this is one Oshi, and there's maximum supply is 13,337, and the circulating supply, everything's out. So that all the supply is out. And this is what he talked about. So there is a video in the Ethereum channel, and it talks about this one here. They're talking about the new developments for Oshi. All right, so that maybe you can check it out because he recommended it. So obviously, just check it out for yourself. But I had a look at the markets. Ascendex.
The only thing that moved in meme coins this week. I mean, I'll just share my screen. You can see here. This is the meme, like a category memes, right? So Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Pepe, Floki. Then there's ordinals, Audi by itself, right? DeLong, Mars. But here's one that I heard, it's come out of nowhere. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, 10, Inu, right? Just okay. In the 30 days at 3x, fine. And maybe it come from nothing. Crazy. The problem is like these, that there's the chart. What's that 1 day? Move to 1 hour. It started there and just went vertical, and then peaked literally that second of within that first day, and then dropped off, and then we've had a second peak. But the problem is that you don't know if they're going to go all the way or not. It's the risk is just so great with these things, right? Sure, you might get lucky, but yeah, I don't know. There's probably better opportunities. If you want better opportunities than the memes, just have a look at let's have a look at some all-time high coins right now. Have a look at Open Exchange, right? Open Exchange ranked 178. Never heard of it before. It's currently up 11% today. It's at all-time highs, and that's the chart, looking good. Started at down here at 1 cent. Now it's at I think 4 cents or something like that. So it's trending up. And if you have a quick look at the website, it's another exchange platform. So and platforms like this, if people trade them, they make money. So if you want to check out some of the ones that are trending or at all-time highs, just have a look at some of the all-time high categories and just see what you find in there. And there's some interesting one. I think this Arkan Financial or Arkan Finance, I think that one is doing really well, all-time highs. And I think that's to do with DeFi. I think I've heard about this one before. Yeah, extraction later. Yeah, multi-chain trading portal. So a lot of these trading platforms are doing well, but obviously it's to do with the amount of users that they have on the platform. So yeah, I don't know. To me, people that build products like this, I'd rather put money into something like that than some of the meme coins, to be honest.
Yeah. What I meant was to say that the meme pad before it blew up, I don't know, 50x, when you mentioned it, and then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, well, a lot of those coins, the reason why those things did really well is because that was a meme, that was the IC, what are they called? The launch pads.
IDOs. Yeah,
launch pads. Those launch pads were really hot, and that was a trend that was really hot, and it went on. And it's a good run. It probably did a 6-month trend on that. So we did really well. Everyone would have, did really well, and there was a lot of people that were part of that whole launchpad period. That phase. It was an exciting time. So that meme coin stuff, I believe that the launch pads, we've moved on. That's what I believe. I don't think we're going to, it was kind of like trendy, but because what they do is they kind of like have a life cycle, and they kind of like go through its phase, and then people realize that, well, it's not sustainable. And that's what's the problem with these launch pads. They weren't sustainable because the coin, they attach with the coin. So, you had to buy a whole bunch of coins to get your allocation. There was so much choice, and people were just picking and choosing in the end. And the launch pads, they weren't limiting it. They were just like letting as many people in, because then people would have to buy their token to lock up. And then every time they let more people in, guess what? Everyone got less, because there's only a small pie, right? It's only a certain pie. So every one slice got smaller and smaller and smaller. The profit got less and less and less. And then when we got our coins, everyone dumped. It wasn't worth it. But by the time we exited, it was just a game. Who got out first? Who sold first? And then who got out first? So that had a good, don't get me wrong. I mean, there was one there. I think it was I can't remember what it was called, but I got in it at like 20 bucks or something, and I sold at like $300 for my coins, and I had shitload of them. So I probably made 15 grand profit on that. And then I figured out, well, hey, these launch pads are where the money is going into the launch pad, locking up your coins after everyone else came in because there was an upcoming launch. Then get out because they'll pump the price up because of all the coins that were launched. So that, to answer your question, that was a phase that was really good. It was profitable at the time, but I believe it won't be replicated because of that technology gap. We've already gone through and we've already figured out this model does not work, and that's why people have moved on.
Yeah, I think that's true. I'll just share my screen with you. I've got so this one here, Arcanum, right? This came out recently. I think it was on Binance Launchpad. Oh yeah, so it was Binance Launchpad. They raised $2.5 million, and they did a 10x, right, recently. So Arcanum, I think I say it, Arkham. Essentially, the way it works is I think they offer bounties to connect to individuals or institutions, right? From what I could work out. So I know it sounds pretty crazy, but the idea is that they basically to visualize anyone's blockchain activity. So I think they were offering, I think it was on Twitter. There was something here before. Where is Twitter? They were offering like, where was it? Yeah, bounties. That's it. So what they would do is they have bounties. If you can like give the identity of whoever has these wallet addresses, and they basically you can buy and sell information on the owner of any blockchain wallet address anonymously via smart contract. So it's pretty, it's pretty wild, right? But like the idea is like there was exploit to do with any type of exploit. If you know details, they offer these bounties to pay for, if you know who actually did it and stuff like that. That's one part of what they're doing. So, and they've raised a fair bit of money for it. So it'd be interesting to see what actually happens with it so far. So yeah, that's just one called Arkham, and some other recent IDOs that perhaps did well. These ones ended this month. We have a quick look here. There's Hatem, $6 million they raised. Let's have a quick look at that on X Launchpad. So I mean, there is still people raising money, but okay. First, liquidity pool, DeFi, blah blah blah. You can lend and start earning interest. Yep. So a lot of these platforms, lending and borrowing and staking assets. So another one, and they'll make money from facilitating those transactions. So yeah, it's interesting. You can always check out those lists to see who's actually getting the recent money that's coming through. I mean, it's always nice to get into them, but you don't know how well they're going to go until after the event, really.
Yeah, I mean, you could still do mining, but it's kind of like probably out of the reach of a lot of people now. And mining is like, I've always been a fan of mining, but it's just not feasible for small people anymore. Was back in the day. This Litecoin, this L7 here, the Litecoin's halving is happening in 3 days. So basically, if you're mining at L7, you're going to be cut to like $7 a day. But I don't know the Dogecoin side of it because it's on the same algorithm, and I'm pretty sure Dogecoin's not having a halving. So, I don't know. We might see Dogecoin pump. It's down at number 8. So Litecoin's now going to be half the rewards, right? They might switch off their hash power on Litecoin and switch it on to Dogecoin. So I don't know what's going to happen, but just watch Dogecoin over the next week. And if it pumps, that's the reason. They're not profitable on Litecoin, so they can use the same machine. They can switch it and start mining Dogecoin. I don't know. I'm not a Dogecoin miner, so I wouldn't know, but just keep an eye on it. Because if it becomes really profitable for mining Dogecoin, these machines would be worth a lot of money. Let's just say they're making $50 a day now, and you're buying a machine which you're using for Litecoin. Now you can switch. Now you can mine Dogecoin for it, and it's only going to cost you $4,500. You're making $50 a day. It's not going to take you long before you get your money back. So, these are these things that it's like kind of like trading. You kind of like, you're watching the stock and you're looking for the loopholes, or with stocks, you're looking for which company is going to be, they're going to start drilling for oil. So you got the inside scoop. It's like that with mining. It's like, what new machines are coming out, when are they going to drop, and what's happening in the crypto, and what's happening with the halvings and stuff. And so there's a lot to dissect and absorb to try to make some money in crypto. But traditionally, if you just buy it and hold it, that's the safest way, which is what I do and what I recommend. And but if you want to be more risky, there's like Garth said, there's no, you can't make a shitload of money fast or faster without taking a shitload of risk. That's just the bottom line. So, if you want the bigger money, you want the faster money from smaller money, well, the risk is higher. And sometimes it pays off with meme coins. But then there's other risky stuff as well. So as long as you're comfortable and you know that, then you're fine. That's why I always say, don't play with your rent money. Just play with whatever cash you got that you're willing to lose. Because crypto is really risky if you play that game. So play the long game, in my opinion. I reckon that's the safest way. It is the safest way, is play the long game. But obviously the drawback with that is it takes a long time. So that's the trade-off. You're taking the safety, or it's less riskier. But the trade-off is you're going to have to wait 5 to 10 years. So you've got to look at it in your own situation, right? This is the way you're going to look at it. You're going to look at it, okay, what's my situation now? How old am I? How much money am I making now? How much money am I going to get from my super? Most of you guys have probably got that. And then what's it going to cost me for my living when I get older, or for the family? If you've got a family, it's going to cost you more, you and your wife. And what's our goals for the future? Are we going to have enough money? Because the older you get, everyone knows it's going to get way more expensive with medical costs. You're going to have higher insurance. It's just going to be crazy. As you get older, it's going to cost you more money. So you've got to work it all out. Then crypto, in my opinion, just treat it like stocks, right? Whereas you're buying these stocks, like these blue chip companies. With crypto, you're buying these blue chip assets, like your layer ones and your layer twos, and then you're going to sit on them for the next 3 to 5 years, because they're the ones that are going to still be around, and you're going to wait for the market to mature and for these projects to get bigger and become more valuable through whatever mechanisms, product development, or products that are developed, tokenomics. There's partnerships. There's so many different ways that crypto can accumulate value, and that's what you're going to do. That's if you really look at it that way, then you're going to be less impulsive and throw your money at shit, and most of the time it just doesn't stick. And you really got to, in my opinion, you really got to look at it that way, because if you just keep on taking losses and losses and losses, you could put those losses into Bitcoin or Ethereum or other ones and just hodled. You would have lost less, and you still have it in your kitty, and it would have gone up just okay, maybe a little bit, but you still got it. You haven't lost it. Because I remember listening to a lot of these audios and a lot of these YouTube videos on these people that have got billions of dollars. They're not like, oh, I'm going to make more money. They're like, oh, how do I stop people? How do I not lose it? Right? That's what they're talking about. Can I invest it where it's not going to depreciate? If I have it in US dollars, it's just going to go down in value. So the hardest thing is when you got that billions of dollars is how to keep it. So that's what you'll hear from billionaires. And that's what you got to figure out for yourself because everyone's different. So in my opinion, just use crypto like a retirement fund for something more long term. And I believe that Bitcoin's going to be 7 figures one day. It's going to take a while though. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's not a long time to wait. I think it's going to be 2030 or 2032 or 34. And that seems a long way away, 7 years, 10 years. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not long. Because if you're still 30, you're only going to wait 10 years. You're probably still working. Or if you're 40, you've only got to be working. You're still going to stay at your day job. You're going to be working, right? You got 10 years in crypto to go in Bitcoin. It goes from now, it's 29K. If it goes to a million, right? You have 2 to 3 Bitcoin now. There's 3 million when you retire. When you're 40, you'll have 3 million in Bitcoin. If it goes to a million, you got 3 Bitcoin. You're at 40, you got 3 million, plus you got your super, plus you got your day job. Dude, now you got options, and it's only 10 years. Now you're like, shit, I don't have to go to my job anymore because I've got crypto as making me interest, passive income like you're talking about, just like stocks. Now I've got, my money that I've saved up. Maybe I've got half a mortgage or my mortgage on the way. Boom, sell your, pay off your mortgage, rent that out, and now you can travel the world at 40 years old. Now, if you'll be 50, that's still young. So that's what I'm talking about. Use crypto sensibly as a retirement fund, and treat it like a retirement fund long term. Think long term. So Gary Vee always says, think long term, and then you're going to get the benefits because time's ticking, man.
That's for sure.
Time is ticking. So I hope it just I don't make it. I know I was kind of like long-winded with that, but I hope you guys understand kind of like what we're here. We're trying to achieve long-term wealth in crypto. We don't want to lose all our shit, even though it's fun. And every now I'll have a dabble and stuff. If I get excited, I'll like throw in a bit of cash and some shitcoin. But that's like that's just like going to the casino. Every now and again, you have a flat. Go and put some money on the horses. Yeah, it's good. It's fun. Have a bit of a kick, get you high, and then just go back to your practical shit. That's dollar cost averaging. Because I guarantee you this: once Bitcoin goes to $1 million, well, it was 39K now, right? 39,300. Yeah, okay, it's taken forever, but honestly, once this thing goes to all-time highs again, 69K to 100K, people are going to be losing their shit. They're going to be going, oh my God, $100,000 Bitcoin, right? Then everyone's going to be falling in again. Let's go back down. Same thing, repeat all the way up to 7 figures, in my opinion. Mathematically, it's already going to be, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm not going to say it's guaranteed because it's stupid to. But someday it's going to be there. We might have a lot more grey hairs than that, Garth, and we might be in wheelchairs. But dude, I believe that it's going to get one day. It's going to be there. Some people say it's going to get to 5 million. Some people say it's going to get to 10 million. That's what I've been seeing on the internet. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just get to 100K first. So you're going to triple your money from now. Where can you triple your money in potentially 2025? Like if we look at, kind of like 100K from now, maybe not this year. Probably not. Well, I believe it's not going to be this year. Maybe not next year, 2024, maybe, hopefully next year. I don't think it's going to happen till end of next year, or if not, sometime due 2025 after we get over the Bitcoin halving, start to do its thing. 2025, we could hit 100K Bitcoin. So that's only like 2 years away. Where are you going to triple your money tell me one thing where you can triple your money, 300x your money in the next 2 years. I don't know anything besides crypto. Maybe some lucky company that discovers some new energy like thorium. I think it was thorium. I was looking the other day. New way of nuclear fusion with thorium. And that's supposed to be the new thing. But other than that, I don't know anything of any other way. So, yeah, I'll wait 2 years.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want you guys to understand that it's not a long time when you look at the grand scheme of things. So keep tucking it away and stay level-headed about it. And every now and again, have a flutter, but that's okay. Get it out of your system. You might get lucky. Might ride the next meme coin to the moon. But you still got your shit that that you're doing. That one day it'll pay off, right? Other than that, mate, I don't know. You've already shared some good stuff, which is
I think we'll wrap it up there. We are over an hour, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff we talked about was not even crypto related, but it was kind of indirectly related to crypto.
Yeah, it is. I think initially the point we're trying to make is that you got to think long term. You got to think about your retirement. You got to think about the inflation that's happening all the time with the printing the money, and honestly, the best bet is Bitcoin because it's not subject to inflation, right? Like the dollar is or any fiat currency. So that's why just by the mere fact of DCAing into it, you're going to be way better off because it's not going to lose. It's not going to be a losing asset. Like if you were to hold on to actual dollars yourself, if you put the money under your pillow in 10, 20 years time, it's going to be like, 80% less than what it is now. But if you do that in Bitcoin, you're going to be way better off.
And even if it goes to 100K and you sell, you take your 300x profit, 3x profit. You never touch Bitcoin again. You still made a shitload of money. You can't do that in anything else. But if you need motivation on, whether you should buy Bitcoin or not, just go and have a look. Go and look at the news. Go and read forums. Go into other groups, Reddit or Facebook groups or whatever, and go and have a read of what those people are talking about. And they're talking about how they're struggling. They can't pay the bills. They've got no money. Their retirement. I read a post today, and this one lady said, "I'm 70 years old. She's thinking about moving to Thailand, but she wants to bring her daughter over because with the combined income of her and her daughter, it's 3,600 a month, and she wanted to know if that was enough money to live in Thailand, and it's more than enough." But that's what I'm said. She said that I feel sorry for her because she can't afford to do that in the United States. She has to come to another country because she's not going to have enough money from her whatever she's getting pension. So if you need motivation, just go and have a look at those people that are already there. They're already 70. They're already 65 and they got no money. The options are, and that's all the motivation you need. Okay. Just don't be in that situation. Please don't be. And we've got an opportunity now with Bitcoin. Now, is it guaranteed? No, but we have this thing and it's deflationary and it's like going to get more and more. It's like getting your arsehole and squeezing it. It's just, that's what's going to happen. It's going to get tighter and tighter and you're going to feel this pain on your ass. And that's what's going to happen with Bitcoin and physically. So as we get into the more and more halvings, right, 2024, if you just fathom that, 2024, 28, it halves again. Supply halves, 2032. And there were only like 5 or 6 halvings. There's still like 20 more halvings to go. We'll be long gone and buried. But if you look at the deflationary aspect of how tight it's going to get when we're into the 2032, there's only going to be like half a Bitcoin produced per block every 10 minutes. That's scarce. Scarce is buggery. So just by design, Bitcoin's just going to get more and more and more and more scarce. And the Bitcoin that you hold is going to become more and more valuable by default. just by doing nothing. So just have a think about it. Thanks for coming on, Garth, and hope you found this helpful, even though we kind of didn't really talk indirectly much about Bitcoin, but it was kind of crypto, but it was related to crypto because, retirement and stuff is something that should be taken seriously. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the Discord.
All right, guys. See you later. Bye.
Yeah, guys.